Mary, it's nice, so nice, always so nice to see you. You are
Thank
such
you,
a
Jay.
nourishing person. And
Ah,
I really enjoy doing these videos, these promotional videos with you, as much for the time with you as for the subject matter.
oh, thank you, Jay.
So welcome to our promotional video room here.
All right.
We are promoting today Recovery and Transformation, a really, really interesting program that we have a whole group that's organizing for August 25th. That's August 25th, Wednesday, at the Plaza Club on the 20th floor to discuss the economy of the state of Hawaii and how it relates to the past, the present, the future, and the world.
Yes, yes, definitely.
So, you know, the thing about this program is that we are very ambitious, isn't it true?
It is true. I think when you look at this list of people who are participating, I am one of the moderators, and I am completely intimidated just by the people who are on the panel that I'm going to be working
Let's
with.
take a moment and talk about the panels and our star-studded cast of characters, okay?
Okay.
So we know we're going to have a breakfast wake-up keynote. My friend Dick Gushman.
Yes.
So he's the wake-up keynote.
And he will definitely wake you up. If nothing else, you'll just look to see how tall he is, you know?
He's very tall. He's also very articulate. I've
Yes.
seen him speak. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Beside that, he's a wise man. You know, he's been through the wars since he was young in Hawaii, and he's had an incredible career here. So we really need to hear from him about what the economy has done and will do, and how we can get involved in maybe changing its course, improving its prospects.
Right. Right.
So what's after that?
Well, after that is the panel that's going to identify the challenges, and we're going to talk about challenges a little bit before it's too late. So we're going to ask these people to come with just one challenge, and then look at them from there, and then propose some sort of a solution. So I think that will be an interesting one because we have this, we have labor, we have Randy Pereira who's going to be there, we have media.
The union leader.
The union
My
leader,
goodness, okay.
yes. We have Steve Petranek, who is the editor at Hawaii Business and has been at both the newspapers when there were two newspapers. So I think he'll be.
Oh, for the good old days.
Oh,
yeah.
for the good old days. Peter Savio, and obviously
Big
has
real estate operator.
big real estate operator with, again, some very interesting history, certainly. Bill Spencer, your friend.
Our friend Bill Spencer, who is into aquaculture and venture capital and a bunch of other things. That'd be very interesting to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, and Kate Stanley.
Kate Stanley. She's going to speak about bureaucracy. And I think she's been with the government a long time. She has a lot of experience in and out of the government, and she's dealt with bureaucracy, so she can speak authoritatively about them. And they are one of the challenges that you mentioned that this panel will discuss.
Yeah.
And who else? And the last guy on this panel is John Farias. John Farias was in the Burns administration. He was the director of agriculture for a long time. He was in the government, and he saw the kind of leadership we had, if you will, back in the 60s, 70s, 80s. He's been around. He's one of the network guys that has been always close to the leaders of this state, and we will hear from him about the concepts of leadership that work in Hawaii.
Ooh, that's the one I can't wait for. I think that'll be fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, second panel, what is that?
Second panel, building best practices for Hawaii. And we're actually going to have an economist be the moderator for that one. So Jack Siderhat from the University of Hawaii. Good man. Will be the leader for that one. And they're going to be talking about what do they think should happen in Hawaii. And I think you had the vision for this panel. Talk about what that is.
Well, this is where they bring their disciplines, you know. We've got some smart guys in this state. Some people don't realize that from the university and elsewhere who have been trained to the nines, you know, with great degrees, great experience, and they bring a lot to the table. So the idea for this panel is to have them tell us what their disciplines are saying. In other words, we go to a special expert, and you ask him to go into the books, you know, and tell you about what his discipline is saying, and you find out a lot. So it's the sort of best academic practice, the best knowledge, the best minds we have from academia tell us what's happening and what needs to happen. This will be very interesting. These will be things you haven't heard before.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. So tell me about Lawrence Boyd.
Oh, he's a labor economist, another economist. But you got to, you know, this is in a program about the economy, you got to have economists.
Right.
And I've spoken to him, and we're going to hear a lot from him about the way the economy works with labor. which is very important about
Yeah.
jobs and income and how people can survive in an economy which is a little shaky.
And then I'm also excited because my friend Tom Kaufman is going to be on that panel as well. And Tom, started as a reporter here, but is certainly known for his history, his books, and his documentaries, and I think, has a very unique perspective because he puts things in historical framework, but is very attuned to what's happening. I just ran into him in the airport just a couple of weeks ago, so we had a long chat
Oh,
about
good.
this. Yes.
Warming him up for the program.
Yes.
It reminds me of Studs Terkel.
Oh, yes.
And he wrote about the Great Depression. And he did a sort of an anecdotal, story-by-story, biography by biography of all these people to try to make sense of what happened in the Great Depression. And that's, we're not having a depression just yet, but what's interesting is we have a long lineup of people who come from various different places. And orientations, all drilling down on the same subject. And we're going to get that same kind of in-depth, effective analysis from all these voices.
Which will be amazing. So tell me also about who's going to talk about education.
Mari Matsuda, who is a law professor. And she is in the university, and she has been an educator for a long time, and she is familiar with the process and the law around this. We're not just bringing somebody in from DOE. We're bringing somebody in from the law school to talk about it. This will be a really interesting look at it.
That will be great. And then, of course, there's Neil Milner with politics, and I could just listen to Neil talk all day.
Brilliant.
He is brilliant.
Yeah, and he understands, the issues here politically, the relationship of politics and the economy and how it works in Hawaii. He's been on the media a lot.
A lot.
And whenever he is, I'm spellbound. Because he is so clear thinking, it's that sound of crystal when you hit him on the side of the head.
Yes, yes. And then you're going to bring someone in from afar to talk about global entrepreneurism.
Oh yeah, we have a global entrepreneur, local guy, Sheridan Tatsuno, and he's not going to be in Hawaii at the time, but as a creative entrepreneur, why not? So he's going to be in Sweden. And we're going to connect with him. It's all set by Skype in Sweden, and he's going to participate in this panel through the miracle of modern technology from half a world away. And I'm very interested to hear what he has to say and how he contributes to this panel. It's going to be a hot panel.
This is. And rounding it out will be Rand Waddimal, who has such an interesting history.
Oh, yeah, a banker, an entrepreneur, investor, and most touching, he's the CEO for a long time of River of Life Mission in Chinatown. So he understands the homeless. He understands that dangerous territory where people fall off the wagon into economic despair. And he can tell us about the despair. He can tell us about how people fall off, and he can tell us maybe what we can do about it. There are not many people who have as broad a knowledge of this process as he does.
Yeah, I think that's going to be great. And then what about this book that there's going to be that's coming out?
It's a book of essays. It's a book of essays by some very, very Akamai guys. One is Craig Howes and the other is John Osorio, both at the university. And I talked to Craig Howes early on about setting up this program, and he had me for an hour and a half on the telephone.
Wow.
He's one of those guys you can't put down. And you can't stop engaging with him. He's a great conversationalist. So we gave them a few minutes to do a book report on their new book, which is about shaping the future in Hawaii. It consists of 18 essays, one of which I recall is by Neil Milner, but they have, like the program, it runs an interesting parallel to the program. Their essays come like studs Terkel from everywhere. And so it helps you get a bead. So to the extent that they're getting a bead in that book, we're using the book to get a bead in a larger sense, and I'm delighted they're coming down, and we'll have some of their books at the back of the room and see if anybody's interested. But they give a book report for a while.
That's great. So what about this last big panel?
This is the panel just before lunch. So we're talking about making plans here. We're starting to get to the action part. We're sort of examining the problem. We're drilling down in ways we haven't drilled before. We're bringing our resources to the table. We're trying to figure out, what disciplines can help us on what parts of the problem. You break down a complex problem and you figure it out little by little. And this is the third panel. This is a panel on planning. So how do you make a plan? What should go into the plan? We're going to do all of this, and these panels are for, an hour each. And we're going to move so fast it's going to be blinding because there are 6 people on each panel, and then we want plenty of Q&A and intramural discussion. So the planning panel includes people from various walks of life and industries. Rick Egged from the travel industry. He's a Waikiki Improvement Association executive. Darren Kimura, everybody knows, he's the poster boy of energy in Hawaii, renewable energy. He has Sopachi. He's a very successful businessman.
Serial entrepreneur.
Serial entrepreneur from Hilo, where God lives. We have Saul Ka'o Ohalahala. Saul is a community leader. He's held office. He's from Big Island also. He is an extraordinary man, and he's going to tell us, from his point of view, how we attack these problems and how we create a model by which we can make a plan that will appeal to everybody and hopefully get us through and improve our economy and our ability to deal with global downturns, global recessions as we have now. And we have Cheryl Lapanui. Cheryl is the chief executive of the Women's Y in Richard Street.
Ah.
And she's a
very well respected.
She's a
leader.
nonprofit, very well respected woman executive, hard driving, doing a great job, coming up with important ideas, changing the face of Hawaii in a way. So we want to hear from her about that. We have Mike Sklarz.
Another economist?
Yes. And more than an economist, people remember him from, locations where he provided real estate data to everyone in Hawaii. Now he provides real estate data to everybody in the country. And you'll hear more from him, but he's a fantastically successful real estate and economic expert. He's also my cousin, Mary. Full disclosure.
Now I know how you got him.
And we have Lynn Rasmussen, an education entrepreneur. I can't wait to hear from her also. So this is our planning panel. And again, people coming from different sides to throw it all on the table, mix it up, and see what comes out, all with the notion of not taking prisoners, of straight talk about dealing with and resolving our economic problems and giving us a more robust economy that can last us for a few years in the 21st century. We can't go backwater.
Right.
We have to find alternatives to backwater. We have to sort of stand up now. The way China is standing up, we have to stand up. And this is intended to find a way to do that, to gain confidence in ourselves, to understand the economic matrix of our community and our economy. It isn't easy. We haven't done it before. Now's the time. This is an important program. We have a lot of legislators coming down. They're interested. They have this problem. They have to deal with it, but everybody has this problem.
So I think it's really a good thing that we got Howard Dykes to moderate this last panel.
Yes.
Because he will provide wonderful insight as well,
Yes.
I think.
Yes. Everybody knows Howard. Very sharp guy.
Yeah.
So this is a hot panel too. They're all hot. And then we're going to have lunch, and finally we're going to talk with our executives. We want the next generation. We want the people whose thoughts and creative ideas are going to take us to the next chapter. The guys who are going to be in charge in a short time, but maybe now they're just working up to it. So this is Robbie Am is going to be the moderator. Robbie Am from HECO, an important player. We have Peter Ho, Bank of Hawaii. Everybody knows who that is. We have Billy Kanoy, one of my favorite guys, the mayor of the Big Island. And we have Janet Liang, who runs Kaiser Permanente. Finally, we also have Robin Campagnano, formerly of AIG, and now runs Uluponu, which is a very important organization, and he's having another chapter in his life, doing good for Piero Mediar. So when you put those 4 together under Robbie Am, that has great promise for what we call the vision of Hawaii's new leaders. It's the visionary panel, and it's where we close.
So could we just stay all day and listen to them, you think?
Well, we allowed extra time afterwards, so if you want to hang around and talk to them, you can.
Yeah, because I think that's going to be very interesting and some interesting kinds of things.
We want to give people a take-home, we want to give them something they can think about later. This isn't the kind of thing where you go and 20 minutes later, you've forgotten what it was about. We want this to have an effect on people, and we want people to enter into a new zone about thinking about the economy, taking possession, taking a personal proprietary interest in the economy. Every business person, every entrepreneur, everybody, with any conceivable connection to the economy should benefit by this program. We intend to show Hawaii, to reveal it.
Exciting.
Yeah.
And how did you get all these people to say yes? Listen to this.
We told
group.
them you were involved.
Oh, no. But people are taking a personal interest in it, obviously, or they wouldn't have committed the time to do this.
We have a lot of people who are very interested in this program and are coming down from all walks of life. So this is one of our good ones, and I'm so happy to collaborate with you about it, Mary. Anthology does such good work, and we work together on these programs, and it's a joy to have that experience in the past, in the present, and in the future.
Okay, thank you. Well, so we will see you, when is that again? Wednesday, August 25th?
Wednesday, August 25th. It starts at 8 o'clock, goes to 1:30 p.m. and longer at the 20th floor of the Plaza Club in Pioneer Plaza on 4th Street Mall. And you can register on thinktechhawaii.com. Which will show you a number of places to register. We have various places you can register. And it'll give you the flyer for the program. And the flyer, of course, has the list of all of the names we just discussed.
Great. Well, thank you. I can't wait either.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Aloha.
Bye.
Bye.